What's up, friend? My name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And music theory isn't just good for you to have a good understanding of as a musician, but music theory can actually help you to learn the guitar. It's true, a little bit of music theory goes a long way when approaching the fretboard, and we're going to talk about why today. Music theory is like learning the alphabet. It's really hard to spell the word cat if you don't know what a C is. It's really hard to understand bigger musical concepts if we don't have a really good understanding of the building blocks of those musical concepts first. That's what we're doing with music theory. Think about the last time you learned a guitar solo, either online or on a video or, reading a tab or whatever. We might see something like, okay, go to fret 10 on the B string, play that twice, then we're going to play fret 11 on the G. We're going to go back to fret 10 on the B, and then we're going to bend fret 12 on the B. That's like trying to spell a paragraph letter by letter. THAT''SLIKETRYING TOSPELLAPARA, so on and so forth, right? If I try to do that, if I try to deliver that message to you, just letter by letter, I'm not going to make any sense, right? You're going to be looking at me like, what are you saying? And it's actually hard for us to understand what I'm saying in that sense. The actual message of what I'm saying isn't within the letter by letter execution of that. It's how those things are blended together to create words and phrases. And it's the same with music. Case in point, I'm going to continue on this thread. The other day, I was helping a student learn a solo that Glenn Campbell played on a live version of Wichita Lineman. It sounds something like this. Now imagine trying to approach that solo note by note. We're going to start on the 3rd fret of the A string, then the 3rd fret of the D, then the 5th fret, then the 2nd fret, or the 3rd fret of the G. It's so much, and it's an incredible amount of work to try to play and understand and play that together as a cohesive solo by going one note at a time. It's like trying to spell the paragraph a letter at a time. If we take a look at the concepts and the concepts behind the solo, we start the solo in the key of F, and all of that first solo, all those first solo phrases are played right within an F major scale. That's what all this is. Shape doesn't matter here, not really, but the concept matters. Then we move up to G. Now we're actually moving into the key of D here. And this phrase that he plays is just hovering around a G major triad. And then we go to D over F sharp, and he plays this D major pentatonic phrase with a little bit of a hint of D major scale on the back of it. Now we're on a C chord. He plays this, which is a C major triad arpeggio with a little bit of an add 9 on the tail end of it. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. Then he works his way down the D Mixolydian scale or the C Lydian scale, however you want to look at it, to bring us into a G chord. And then we go G minor, he plays the spiciest phrase in this whole solo. That right there. That's outlining this chord, which is a G minor major 9. A lot going on. Really spicy sounding chord, really tangy sounding phrase. When we go back to D, he plays a D major triad down in this sequence. And then he plays D major pentatonic. And the solo ends after that. So I could just move, and as I was transcribing and teaching that solo to myself to teach to my student, I'm thinking of it concept by concept. But a lot of times music theory can be taught in kind of a bad way. It might be confusing. I'm going to simplify things for you in this video. Music theory is only 2 things: counting and definitions. If you can count, you can master music theory. And the only thing that we're doing with the music theory definitions, like what is mixolydian, what's Lydian mode, what's a triad, the only thing we're doing with those words are applying the counting to those definitions. So a triad is 1, 3, 5. Mixolydian is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. But it all starts from the counting. And what are we counting? Yes, we're counting through notes and stuff like that. But really what we're doing when we're counting these things out, we're counting intervals. And I wish someone taught me this secret. I kind of stumbled into it, but I wish someone taught me this secret when I was first learning intervals. It's incredibly simple. It starts from the idea of the major scale. Now, if you want to really get to know your major scales really well, if you want to have a really good resource to help you have all of the major scales at your fingertips whenever, you should download my Essential Music Theory cheat sheet. I'll link to it in the description box below. I'll put a link to it on this screen as well. A lot of times when we study intervals in a classroom environment, we might say, okay, you need to memorize how many half steps are all of these intervals. Like, for example, how many half steps is it from, how many half steps is a minor 6? So what's a minor 6th interval from C? You know, I know if I say, what's a minor 6th from C? I know that's an A flat. I just know that. I don't know how many half steps it is. I have to count. If I count, here's C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 half steps. That's a lot of... That's usually how they teach it. I don't care about that because it's slow. It's kind of besides the point. Yes, it's true. And if you want to memorize all of your intervals by memorizing how many half steps they are, then by all means go for it. But here's a much easier way. Check this out. This is how I memorize it. What is the key of C? It's easy. No sharps, no flats. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then I go back to C. The intervals in the major scale are all major and perfect fourths and perfect fifths. So my major scale, if I'm counting my way through it with intervals, is like this. C, major second to D, major third to E, perfect fourth F, perfect fourth G, major 6th, A, and then major 7th, B. Let that sink in. The major scale has all major intervals in perfect fourth and perfect fifth. That's huge. That's incredibly easy to understand, right? So now back to our example of C to A flat. What is going on in my brain is, okay, what's a minor 6th from C? Well, the major 6th is just the 6th right out of the major scale. That's an A, C to A. And minor means to make smaller. So I have a major 6th, C to A, minor 6th, make smaller, C to A flat. So much easier. Yes, you do have to get to know the major scales, yada, yada, yada. Use my tool, use my theory cheat sheet for that, because it makes things really easy. I'm going to pull it up here in a second. We'll use it. But that idea allows us to logically approach what an interval is. Not just try to memorize how many half steps that interval has. A couple of other definitions: minor means to make smaller, diminish means to make smaller, and augmented means to make bigger, right? So C to G is a perfect fifth. That's the perfect fifth out of the major scale. The major scale is perfect. Another way to kind of think about it. But if I want to make that fifth, or if I need to make that fifth smaller, or if the fifth is smaller, however you want to look at it. So C to G flat, diminished fifth. C to E, major third. C to E flat, minor third. Major third because it's from the major scale. Minor third, I'm altering it. C to F is a perfect fourth. C to F sharp is a larger fourth. It's an augmented fourth. I hope that's settling in. Intervals can be really easy when we look at them through this light, and you should look at them through this light because it's how higher and higher levels of music theory and music theory concepts really use the intervals. So here's my theory cheat sheet here. If I just go to any other sort of key here, let's do the key of E down here. E's a good guitar key. What is the major sixth up from E? Well, E's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C sharp. Okay, well, what's a minor sixth? Minor, make smaller, bring the C sharp down to C. That's a minor sixth. That's all we need to think about there. How about the key of D flat? What is a perfect fourth above D flat? Well, it's the perfect fourth from the major scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, it's G flat. If you have the major scales right in front of you, you know all your intervals. Any sort of interval you need. What's an augmented fourth from D flat? Okay, well, D flat to G flat is a perfect fourth from the major scale. So augment, make bigger. D flat to G natural must be that augmented fourth. Let me go back to the key of C here for my example. So C, what's a major triad? Major triad is just 1, 3, 5 out of the major scale. Major triad, major scale, right? We're keeping all these things organized. 1, 3, 5, C, E, G. That's a C major triad. Minor triad is a different definition. We have 1 flat 3, 5. So C, E flat, G. It's that easy to understand these music theory concepts when we have a really good understanding of the major scale and its intervals. So that's all fine and good if we're taking a music theory quiz and we need to write out, what is this interval above this note? That's fine. How does that actually apply to our guitar playing? That's the real trick here. You might be tempted to think that, okay, well, in order to get all these music theory concepts under my fingers, I might have to memorize a bunch more shapes, all these shapes about, whatever mode and whatever, chord, whatever scale, whatever this, that, the other thing. Shapes do not create music theory. Music theory creates the shapes under my fingers. So for example, if I start with C again, right here, and I just try to put those raw notes of the C major scale on my guitar, one, it's a really good idea to do this just on one string. Right, there's my C major scale just on the low E string. But if I want to condense my playing down to a position, maybe I only want to do so many notes on a string at a time. So here's C, major second, D, major third. Hey, that's what my major third looks like on one string. C, D, E. I'm going to go up to F. That's what a fourth looks like on the guitar. Just one, same fret. Same fret. Our guitar is tuned mostly in fourths. C, D, E, F, G. That's a power chord. That's a perfect fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a perfect fifth. This is what a major sixth looks like. That's like blues playing. And then if I keep going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to 1, you might start to see this pattern emerge. Okay, wait a second. That looks really familiar. 1, 2, 3. That looks a lot like my 3-note per string major scale, if you're familiar with 3-note per string. That's why 3-note per string looks the way that it does. It's not that the major scale is coming out of a shape. The major scale is dictating the shape. This helps us change the way we look at the fretboard, not I need to memorize more dots on a page or dots on a fretboard. If you really, really, really want to get to master all of the different shapes that can occur on the guitar, master your intervals. It'll make everything make much more sense. If I say don't want to play this E here, the third note on that string, maybe I want to play it here. This is an E note as well. And again, it's good to visualize where unisons occur. We already kind of instinctively do this when we tune our guitar. A and A, D and D, G and G, B. I gotta switch gears here because my B is now different. That's a different interval. G to B, or G string to B string, is a major third, not a perfect fourth. If I rearrange how I do this C major scale on the guitar neck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are in the same spot. Maybe I want to move to my sixth. There. Now I have a new shape. I have a new shape that I created for myself, not one that I had to struggle to memorize on a page. I could do this again going further that way, starting with one note on the E string, 1, D. There's my major second, major third, perfect fourth. Bet you never saw this. This is also a perfect fifth. I'm playing C in G. Rather than the power chord shape, I've got that shape there. 5, 6, 7, and then 8. I've got 3 shapes already constructed just by applying this logic to the fretboard. Three, just from that one root note. If I start moving these around to that C root note or maybe that C root note, you'll know C major across the entire neck. And it's not born from memorization. It's born from applying music theory logic to the fretboard. When you put this sort of concept into your playing and into your practice routine, this creates new ways for you to visualize anything around the fretboard. We are organically learning and exploring how this thing works. And it's really great. Do it, do stuff like this 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes a time when you pick up the guitar and you're practicing. It will dramatically improve your playing and your understanding of what you're playing on the fretboard. I hope you found this video helpful. Again, my name is Matthew Dale. I'm here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. Remember to download my Essential Music Theory cheat sheet to help you in this quest, and I will see you next time.